Kalimera, kalispera, kalinichta. No matter where in this weird, wacky, and wonderful world you might be, thank you for making the Highbury Squad part of your day. It's a new week. It's a blank canvas. We at Squad Central are ready to paint pictures and tell stories. 10 games to go. Do you have the bottle for this, people? Let's rock and roll. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad. Yo, squaddies, welcome back. It is a new week, and joining me once again here in the HS studios is Super Kevin Campbell, my podcast brother from another mother.
At ease, let's get busy. We ain't got time to mess around. At ease.
At ease indeed. Leading the proceedings once again is our Chief Like Officer, Tammy. We have Kay Marlon in the house. Amira is here. Mark B is here. Trev is here. Galimera PW. El Piso Ola Naina Galas Zoisu. We got Suraj here. Runs with Cows is here. Mark is here. Lynn is here. Turin's here. Boy's here. Everyone's here. Ian is here as well. If I missed you, please, I apologize. Carol's here. The whole gang's here. Super Kev. Hope everyone had an epic weekend. Thank God the international break is over. But how joyous was this moment? Just before we get stuck into some bits and bobs with Super Kev here as we go into the final act of the season, I just wanted to share this image from the weekend. Super Kev, glorious goal from Bukayo Saka for the England, made one for Harry Kane, man of the match, superstar. Mudryk gets subbed off. His misery continues. We'll get to him a bit later in the show. But how much did you enjoy this yesterday?
Well, listen, I enjoy watching Saka. I do. I think he's a breath of fresh air to the England team, and to see that assist for Harry Kane and that superb goal, you just hoping that you could see it go in, and when it hugged the top corner in the net, you just thought, wow, this kid's special, isn't he? He's a special player.
He really is.
He's our world-class young talent coming through, and again, he just seems to be getting better. So let's be honest, he's getting better as the season wears on. So, Saka, come on, keep it going.
Kev, look, I changed your Twitter handle for you real quick. Look, it's wrong because I always call you Super Kevin Campbell. So I'm just going to edit that real quickly because he is Super Kevin Campbell. It was amazing, Kev. The goal was amazing. He was incredible. Continually, one of the things that you and I have talked about is how many players surround him now whenever he's got the ball. His maturity level. I mean, when I saw him again yesterday, he's just starting to look like a man. We're going to get stuck into him a little bit later on. I've got a great agenda lined up for everybody today. Thank you to our friends at ZENITH Coins, of course. Patrick from ZENITH Coins is in the house. Thank you, Patrick, for joining us. Don't forget to go visit the boys at ZENITH Coins. Get your Arsenal coin and use Highbury Squad for your discount. And of course, keep those nominations coming in if you would like a Highbury Squad coin, the Highbury Squad at gmail.com. We're going to be giving them away as we close out the season. Okay, so here's what we have on today's agenda. By the way, Kev, before we came in, I want to give everyone an insight because we have a little bit of a chat before we come live. And I said to you, imagine if we win the league, how many Arsenal babies will be born next? June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February.
Great month. What a great month. February is a great month. Listen, there will be a baby boom. Let's be honest. I think it's up to a month, 6 weeks, Soph, where, before it kind of starts, not dies down, but that euphoria starts to just subside a little.
Yes. Well, I'm thinking in 2023, one of the most popular boys' names will be Bukayo. I'm predicting that right now. If there are Arsenal babies that are born from a potential Premier League championship win, Super Kev, Bukayo will be.
Yeah, but I think you could go anywhere in this team. Do you know what I mean? I think you could go anywhere, Matty. I like that. Get that Barry White music. Yeah, I tell you, hey, that'll start it now, Matty K. I tell you what. But so, Aaron, you can go from the back. You can go, Thomas. You can go Gabrielle. Gabrielle might be a interesting one for both boy and girl.
Kev, I feel like there'll be an Arsenal fan out there that will call their baby Gabrielle Johnson. Good
Listen,
luck.
I don't know, but I'd love to see it. I'd love to hear it. But Guna
No.
Rush, you're right. Population explosion. The closer
Guna
we
Russ in
get,
the
I tell
house.
you what, we get over that line, everyone's going to deserve what we get because you know
Yeah.
what? We've been through it. Let's be honest.
I also think that we have some players with last names. Like I could see someone calling their kid Saliba or Zinny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, those names like Martin, like, oh, no, then it's not going down. You know, it's not happening. Emile, that's a kind of a cool name, although he hasn't played a part this season. Benjamin, not sure that's happening much. Granite, not sure. Everyone will think you're referring to a tennis racket. Kieran, not bad. Yeah, I think
Listen,
they're all there.
we've seen worse things. People be called different names.
Yes,
Telling you,
exactly.
it's just a matter of if the spirit takes them, they're going to do it, aren't
Exactly. Yeah, like Moon Unit. That's a weird name. What's his name? Frank Zappa called his kids like the weirdest names. Right, let's get stuck into this. It is Monday Madness. We've got Super Kev here, and here is the theme for tonight's show. You guys know what we do when it gets close. We start predicting our next 5 games. Now, we've predicted everything up until Leeds. So far, Super Kev is 100% correctamundo on all of his predictions.
There's certain people in the chat, Soph, who keep giving it. Kev don't know what he's talking about. Keep quiet.
Allow me to give you a little bit of this.
Yeah. And then, Soph, after I do that, I'll move them over to you, please. And then you just take their nappers off, please.
And then why don't we bring out the boy?
Yeah,
get everyone involved. Come on. Let's do this. So, Kev, I did predict the Fulham game incorrectly. That was
really gutted about that, Soph. And yeah, you look gutted about that.
Gutted about that. Calling a draw against Fulham away. What was I thinking? So gutted about it. So here we go with the next 5 games after Fulham. And my goodness, is there a corker to start off with? Now, I've gone a little bit.
You mean after Leeds? Yeah.
Yeah, after Leeds. I've gone a little bit more on this match, and there's a reason for it. After Leeds, our game is against Liverpool. Very tricky. And I can't wait to hear what Kev's thoughts are going into this one. Our last win at Anfield, and Squaddies, you are my researchers, correct me if I'm wrong, was actually on my birthday, September 2nd, 2012. We won 2-0. Listen to this, Kev. Vito Manoni was in goal. Jenkinson was the right back. Diaby played a full 90 minutes. And according to Arsenal insider Mikel Arteta, had Gerrard in his pocket.
Ran the show.
Mikel Arteta, quietly brilliant, said the Arsenal insider. Santi scored. Podolski got his goal as well, both debut goals, I believe. Arteta had 107 touches. I just thought our fans right now would find this interesting because sometimes some of us forget that he was captain and he did play with us. That's Diaby right there. And of course, Mikel ran riot, 94.6% passing accuracy, made 3 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 clearance. That was a good time at the Anfield, but it hasn't been a good time for us. We did beat them 3-2 earlier this season. They're a different Liverpool, Kev. And the recent form, not including the games coming up, of course, Liverpool losing, really getting battered by Real Madrid in Europe, a humiliating defeat against Bournemouth after slapping Manchester United, beating Wolves, drawing against Palace. And you see our results here, all predicted by Super Kev correctly in terms of Arsenal walking away, aside from the Europa League match, with victories. Super Kev, going into this one, for me, this is huge. This, for me, there's two games that I just don't lose. We're going to get to the next one in a bit. Talk me through this a little bit. What do you see?
Well, anytime you go to Merseyside, whether it's the blue side, as we've seen, or Liverpool, which has probably been the most successful side, they're going to play you tough. No matter if they're going through a tough time or not, they're going to play you tough. One good thing about Liverpool is they're going to come for you. They're not a team who are going to sit back. So they're going to come for you, and they're going to allow you, if you can beat the press, they're going to have opportunities to hurt them. And do you know what, Sophie? I think it's about time we beat some of these teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is a good scalp along the way. If we're going to be champions, this is a good scalp to take. And look, we've seen Arsenal go there with 10 men after Xhaka got sent off in the cup and put a really dogged defensive display in Soph. But I think we've evolved so much more than last season to where we are now. I think it actually suits us to go to the bigger team, though, because they're at home. So I think it suits our style. That's why we've got the best away record in the league. And we're going to have to defend properly. But again, we need to punch them in the mouth first.
Yeah. I wanted to show you some of these bits too, Kev. You're freezing up just a little bit, but I can see you and hear you, so we're okay. Let's look at this. Let me get rid of this banner for a second here. The team comparison so far this season, this is courtesy of goal.com. The games played, goals scored, shots on target, shooting accuracy, conversion rate, and assists. I mean, if I'd have shown you these numbers and said to you at the start of the season which team is going to have what stats, I think, Kev, it would be clear.
Just flip them.
I want to
flip them, can't you?
And I wanted to show you the defense as well, in terms of goals conceded, clean sheets, shots faced. I mean, that shows how good our defense is doing in terms of what Aaron Ramsdale is looking down the barrel of a forward. Tackles won, tackle success rate. I mean, I did a show with Tom and we did a piece on Gabriel, a follow-up, which I know you saw, Kev, which showed again his superiority in terms of how he compares to other defenders at the back as well. Here's the discipline for the season. Fouls won by us versus Liverpool. Fouls conceded. Our yellow card. Clearly, we're playing more competitively, Super Kev. And one last one here on distribution, which is something that Super Kev has talked about a lot. He was ragging on the team playing too slow last season. Felt like, we had to play a lot faster, but also just be better with our distribution in the final third. And I think that, the crossing, Kev, is one that I found a little bit glaring here, which surprised me in terms of the comparison between the two teams. But you can see, and the reason why I wanted to show all of those statistics and data is how we've improved against Liverpool. And when you look at how many points we're clear of them this season, the drop off for them has been massive, but the rise for us has been great. So somewhere in the middle, Kev, they've been crap, but we've been really great. And I just wanted to show.
I don't think there's any middle. I don't think there's any middle because when you look at it, Soph, Liverpool, where who we are, our rise has been astronomical, really, when you consider Liverpool. They've had their times where they've struggled, But they've had their times where they've, against Manchester City, for instance, at Anfield, where they turned up and they end up winning the game, could have won it probably more than 1-0, etc. So we can't worry about them, and there's no real middle ground. I don't believe in that, so because you know what, Sophie, we've got to look after us. So if we're gonna win, we have to win the game. That's we have to win it. Nobody else is gonna help us win it.
Stop. You're breaking up. You're breaking up. So, and people are missing like the core info. Just go back to your point from the start there.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Am I all right now?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Right. For me, there's no middle ground, Soph, because what you're going to try and do is kind of pull us down and Liverpool there, and this is where it is, or vice versa. No. Arsenal have to look after Arsenal. Liverpool have to look after Liverpool. Liverpool were going on all fronts last season. 4 trophies they were going for. So ended up with 2 trophies. Still a successful season, but they didn't get the 2 that they wanted, which was the league and the Champions League. You flip the switch, look at us. We didn't get that 4th spot that we wanted because we wanted Champions League football, Sophie. But our rise has been meteoric. It's been brilliant, astronomical for us to push on and be top of the league by 8 points. Although City have a game in hand, we know that, but we're still 8 points clear. So for me, there's no middle ground. We've earned this position. We've earned being 8 points clear. And we're not relying on other teams. If other teams get a result against City, that's City's business. That, you know, if they get a result and it helps us move further forward, we'll take it. But so many times, Sophie, we've seen it's going to be down to us no matter what anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll take what we're given, but it's going to be up to us.
Yeah. We're 27 points ahead of Liverpool currently. It's insane that we have had this evolution despite them falling off the cliff, like Kev says. You still have to play the games, play who's in front of you, deal with injuries, deal with the jeopardy and the challenges and everything that comes at you as a team and as a squad. I think we're just so much stronger thanks to those January transfers as well. So, Kev, it's a tough place to go. There's no doubt about it. And for those joining late who said, oh, are we playing Liverpool next? No, we're doing our next 5 games after Leeds because we've predicted up to Leeds. We're going to talk about Leeds later on this week. For Monday Madness, we always have special topics. And Liverpool is a huge game. And when you look back and see the last time we won and who was playing, it's not going to be easy, Kev.
No.
Is this the time? We've broken ducks this season. In order to win the league, you do have to break ducks. You do have to create new records. There's no doubt this team has done that as a squad and as individuals as well. Is this the moment? Is this the time? Is this going to be another Anfield 89 type of result?
I want it to be. Sophie, if we go to Anfield and win, it will say to the league, Arsenal are the real deal, even in the running. That's what it would say. Arsenal are the real deal. You go there and draw, okay, it's still a decent result. But you go there and win, people go, listen, they've gone to Anfield, they've gone to Liverpool and beat them at their place. So you get massive tick in the box for that. If you go there and lose, you know what's going to happen. They're going to start cranking up. Oh, they're not ready. Look, here we go. You know, the wheels are going to fall. You know what comes with it. So the key for us is to just keep doing what we do. Keep playing how we play. We know what Liverpool bring to the table. But the difference is Liverpool couldn't handle what we brought to the table at the Emirates. We've got to do it at their place. That's the most important thing. We've got to play just as we normally do. We've seen if you go there and you do not perform, look at Manchester United. What happened? They got 7. That's what can happen to you at Anfield because it's one of those grounds where you just can't stem the flow. We've got to go there, strong minds, strong unit, strong team, and go there and know this is another one of those hurdles. We want to win it. This is another hurdle we've got to get over.
So, with that said, as well, Lone Star just reminding everybody the last time Liverpool conceded a goal at home, despite their woes. Super Kev, are you going for the win at Anfield?
I am actually. I am going to go for the win at Anfield. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to go for 2-1 to the Arsenal.
Okay, Super Kev calling a victory at Anfield, and I just don't want to lose that game. So Sophie's PTSD has kicked in once again, and it's a good job I said that the right way and not the wrong way. Let's see. We got Guna Rose 2-1. Ayushman thinks it's a win. Mark thinks it's a loss. Boyce is saying, go on, Kev. Bosh, says Yanto. 3-0, says Matty. Taib says, we are blessed to have Kev. Runs with cows. Are you not listening? No, we're not skipping Leeds. We already both called Leeds a win in the previous 5 games. Pay attention, everyone. It's not that hard. Okay. Deep breath. I'm going for a draw. Going for a Desmond.
Okay.
I just don't want to lose the game, and I feel like there's 2 games. If we don't lose them, the title could be ours. I said that to Paul Ross on TalkSport
I wonder
last
which one
night. For the first time, Kev, was I had just the first time I ever said it out loud. If those 2 results. Okay, that's Liverpool in the bag. And we spent more time on that one because it's a big one. And it's the type of game that if we win it, like Kev says, you get the attention, you're breaking ducks, you're back in the game, you're beating the big boys who have won the league over the last few years. Come on, the Arsenal. Let's get that victory against Leeds as predicted on this show and by many Gooners. And let's march to Anfield and start that run. Jesus. To the end. Can't take it. Next up, after that, 200 plus of you in live chat on a Monday night. Thanks so much for listening. And to those listening on iTunes as well, thanks. Our Spotify account was hacked, by the way. If it was you, shame on you. But it was. So we're trying to fix that with Spotify. Do apologize. If you want to listen on audio, go to iTunes. Super Kev, West Ham versus the Gunners. I was at the game, this fixture last year, 3-1. To us, I thought it was a pretty dominant performance. That was when Eddie stepped in to help out the end of the season again. It was a really good win. The last time they beat us at home was in January 2019. That was a 1-0. It's joyous seeing these 2 hook up for England. You wonder what the Arsenal would look like next season if Mr. Rice did join. But there's no doubt we want to see his laughter with Bukayo there turn into tears on that day. What are your thoughts about West Ham, who have really been a massive disappointment so far this season?
Yeah, I see nothing more than an Arsenal win. This is what the penultimate London derby of our season, I think. Yeah, the way we're going, I just don't see the Hammers causing us much problems. Although it's going to be a tough game. I think a 3-1 again. So I'd love a clean sheet, by the way. I would love a 3-0. But I just think we're going to win that one. Yeah, we're going to win that one handsomely with a bit of luck. We get the first goal, we'll be all right.
Yeah. Okay, so West Ham away and Kev is going for the win.
3-1.
By the way, I'm doing this old school, writing it down on the old, nothing electronic here, no technology, no VAR. I'm going for a win as well, Kev. I fancy goals on that day, and I fancy us to walk away with the 3 points. Okay. By the way, Kev.
Yeah.
It is a pretty sight, isn't it? Can we just for a second?
Well, do you know what? They all love Saka. You could just see they all love him. And Declan Rice. Listen, I think he's a top player. The way he moves around that pitch, the way he moves, slots into defense, and then he moves to the right and left, and the way he handles the ball, I think he'll be excellent at our place. could be asked to play a different role at our place. You never know, because he's got that in him to bomb forward as well. So could be very interesting if he does come. I'm sure talks are ongoing, but I think I'm sure Declan's asking Bukayo a few, some questions about the manager and how things are.
Kev, it's so funny. You said it last week when we talked about him walking in and everyone giving him a hard time because he was, FaceTiming with Kim Kardashian and Rice was giving him a hard time. He really does feel like a star now, and you can see how they react to him. It's amazing, isn't it? One of the youngest players, yet his presence and his aura when he walks into a room, he just commands it and occupies it because his energy is so positive. And it's just wonderful to see how they react to him. It really is.
Yeah. His energy, Soph, is amazing, and you always hear them say, he's always smiling. He's such a nice guy. He's such a nice kid. But they never say he's only 21.
I know.
Because he's treated as one of their peers, he's treated as a big player. Listen, he's been ripping the Premier League up for Arsenal, double figures, goals and assists, first of the season for anyone to do it. He's Saka. And they just love him. And it's nice. It's nice that we can witness it. It actually makes it more endearment for the other players when they like him as much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can see that it's heartfelt. They genuinely do love him. So I love seeing it. So I love it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It really is. And, there was one England player walking the streets of New York and another was playing the turf of Wembley and lighting it up, becoming a superstar. And we'll get to that at the end of the show. Right, here we go. The next game. Dun, 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 dun. Arsenal versus Southampton. 16th of April, 2022. We all remember that disastrous 1-0 loss at home. Survival mode is definitely activated for Southampton now, Super Kev, but my goodness, they deserve some payback from us. A team that has pulled some trickery on us in the past. What say you about a team you've played against them and you've saved them in these situations? Relegation battling side, never easy, and especially a team that has had your number on the odd occasion in the past.
Yeah, I think this is again at the Emirates. This is a must-win game for us. They got away. I think they got away with a couple down there at Southampton. There was a couple of decisions that could have gone against them. There's a potential sending off, potential penalty, etc., etc. Stuff we didn't get, and we end up drawing the game. But at our place, we can't take them lightly. We've got to finish them. So that's what we've got to do. If you're gonna have, any energy, it's gonna come the week after, not at the Emirates. You get nothing at the Emirates. I say a home win, so it has to be a home win. Has to.
Yeah. And I agree with the squaddies in chat. There's some modest 2-0s like Gunnar Russ, and there's some batterings like Mark B's 6-0 and Quaibena's as well. I think this is going to be a harsh lesson where Ross we do broke the neck. I think we'll have a bit too much for Southampton this time. And what I like about our team, Super Kev, is that the payback is in full effect. A lot of teams have seen that this season. Tottenham have seen it home and away. Crystal Palace saw it away. Southampton,
home and away.
Home and away. There's a couple of dodgy fixtures coming up, but Southampton, Brighton, Newcastle, these teams from last season, we need to pay them back. All right. So we're both going for 3 points at home against the Saints.
Yeah.
Here we go, people. The game of all games. The matchup of all matchups. The professor versus the student. The genius versus the future genius. The winner of all winners against the one who wants to win it all versus his old boss. Manchester City versus Arsenal Football Club. We can beat them in an FA Cup game. We just can't beat them in the Premier League. Last time we did, 2015, Walcott and Giroud were the scorers. Kev, this is the other one that we just can't lose, and it's a ground where we just can't win. Is this our time?
So, you know me, I'd like to be positive. I want to make sure. I think it's actually better for us to play them at their place, because again, I thought we played okay at the Emirates. We made certain mistakes that you give those opportunities to a team like City, they're going to hurt you. But I don't think so. They outplayed us or anything like that. I thought we made the wrong decisions at times and we gave them the goals. So I'm really looking forward to this one, Sophie. I want to win. I don't want no draw. I want to win. And I want to win 1-0 to the Arsenal. That's what I want to win.
Wow.
I want to win 1-0 to the Arsenal.
1-0 to the Arsenal. No goal scored by Pep Guardiola's City versus the Arsenal at the Etihad. You're saying this man will keep a clean sheet.
That's what I want.
And these boys will defend for their lives.
Sophie, listen, I will take 3-0, all right, to the Arsenal, or I will take 3-2 to the Arsenal, as long as Arsenal win. But you know that 1-0 to the Arsenal, I got it in my head that the Arsenal fans are going to be singing 1-0 to the Arsenal. So I'm going to go with 1-0.
1-0 to the Arsenal, says Super Kev. Let's see. Let's end City's season. Your heart better be ready for a completely different affair at City, says Boy. Haaland. Okay, what's this? That's Haaland injury thing. Yeah, of course he is going to run around. He's not injured. What's all this? You think? Hey, listen, we may have been born yesterday, but we weren't born last night. Kev?
Hey, we're born yesterday. But listen, we weren't born at night, but not last night.
There you go.
We were born at night, but not last night.
That's the one. Thanks, Kev.
Yeah. Born at night, but not last night. Jeez.
I mean, this is going to be this game is insane. How long have we waited to be in a match like this? To be part of a championship run, but one with a game at the end of the season that has such significance. The last time, we all know, it was Leicester season. You know, we thought we were going to win when the Welbeck header went in. It wasn't meant to be. We haven't really been close since, Kev. We haven't. Here we are. And let's be honest, it didn't feel like this was going to be our year and our time, but here we are, and playing in this match against Manchester City ahead of the game. Does that mean we're not ready, or are we ready now for the moment, Kev, for the turn?
Well, we're only going to find out when we do it, Soph. You know, because we could talk about, oh, we're ready. Well, we're in this position, so we're ready. The key is getting past the likes of City at their place. You know, we beat them at their place. That's a big 6-pointer, isn't it? Huge game. Huge game. So,
yeah, I don't think I'm calling it a draw. And this is my rationale. And again, I'm putting a protect. You know how I like to wrap Saka and everyone in cotton wool and keep them safe. I'm wrapping myself up in bubble wrap and keeping myself safe, Super Kev. And I'm saying cautionary me. If we get a point at Anfield and we get a point at the Etihad, I think it's ours. And I think after this is when we will be able to maybe take a deep breath and say, okay, maybe it is or isn't. But let's look at the games that come after Manchester City. There's another big one.
I think the more dangerous games come after.
Yeah, after Chelsea.
Yeah.
We're going to get to those, but not today.
No, exactly. And there's 4 after that. So
exactly,
that's going to start getting tight.
It is. But we do have one more to predict. And it comes immediately following the Manchester City game. And, you know, they don't get much bigger. London derby, here we go.
Last Arsenal, one of the season.
Another London derby. No matter what anyone says, no matter how hard folks will try, Super Gev, this game will be about one thing and one thing only. It will be about Mudryk versus Arsenal. It will be about who ended up with the better transfer deal for this season. Long term, we don't know yet. But if Trossard signing in January helps us get that Premier League title, Arsenal fans won't care what kind of career Mudryk has for the next 10 years, because that transfer, together with all of the other business that we've done this season and last, would have led to this moment. Super Kev, I believe this game will all be about this. The narrative will be about this. And Arsenal, I feel, will do another number on Chelsea. How do you see this one going over?
Yeah, listen, there's been signs of life in Chelsea, especially in the Champions League. But we've seen them still yo-yo in the league. They still haven't been great in the league. I just think we're a bit further ahead of them this season. And this is home game. You know, there ain't many home games left after this one, Soph. I think is 2 home games after this?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, this is a very, very important game for us. One that I believe we'll win. And again, I think potential banana skins for us. Hey, listen, against Liverpool, against any one of these teams, we could mess up. I just don't think we are. I don't think we are. I think we're going to beat Chelsea. And I say 2-0 as well. I say 2-0 win at home. And, you know, what a fantastic game it will be. We come out victorious.
Going to be another tester, isn't it? Everyone's going to be talking about, you know, how many times has Ben White been questioned? Oh, he's going to come up against Zaha. Oh, he's going to come up against, you know, X, Y, Z. Name him.
He might not even play Mudryk.
He might not start.
He might not even start. He hasn't starting all the time, has he? So,
and we're not conceding too many of late, but, you know, they certainly have problems scoring. There's no doubt about that. Everyone feeling confident about Chelsea. Kev, I am going to go for the victory at home against the blue side of London. It is another one of those where, you know, we have to win. Because like you said, there's some tricky little Brightons and Newcastles coming up, which we'll talk about after these fixtures and get stuck into those as well. All right. So after Leeds, the next 5 games, you heard it first. You heard it here on Monday Madness. Super Kev has gone for a win against Liverpool, a win against West Ham, a win against Southampton, a win against Manchester City, and a win against Chelsea. I have gone for exactly the same, except a draw at Liverpool and a draw at the Etihad, which I still think will be enough to win the Premier League. Super Kev.
Because you know, Soph, even if we don't take mine, let's say we go with yours, those draws and those wins mean, what is it? 9 wins and 2 draws of the last 11. We'll take that.
It's not bad, right?
Oh, geez. That's special.
Because I think we can afford a slip up, which we're not talking about. Don't want to get into it today because the one game I'm so scared of is Brighton. We could afford maybe a draw or even a loss to a Newcastle or a Brighton. Do you see it the same way, Kev?
Yeah, no, listen. One of them is, Soph, if you lose one, if you draw 2 games, you lose one and win one, you're a point better off if you've lost and won. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just for the fact of we drew, you're still a point down if you lose one and win one. So the way this team goes, that's why I go for the win.
Yeah.
Because drawing games, sometimes it can be even worse because you draw 2 games, lose one and win one, you're 1 point better off losing one. So
it would be such a shame to not close the deal. Kev, we're 31 points ahead of Chelsea. We're 8 points ahead of current champions, Manchester City. We're 27 points ahead of Liverpool. We're how many ahead of... we're 20 points ahead of Tottenham, who were going to win the league and won the transfer window. We're 19 points ahead of Manchester United. No one's going to remember any of that unless we win it.
Hey, listen, if we don't win it, then everyone is coming for us. But that's cool. I can live with that, Sophie. I can live with that. If Arsenal don't win it, it's not. Listen, it's not as if Arsenal don't have the right mentality.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as if Arsenal don't have a good enough team. It's not as if the fans and the club are disjointed because we're all together. If we don't win it, we're not going to win it for a certain reason that it may be just be not our time. So, but I think it is. I think it is our time. And I think the emergence of these young players and the way the club have brought players in, we've got a really good, especially with Jesus and Zinchenko added, that know how to get over the line, the change of mentality in the
And
dressing
this guy
room.
being in the
And
dressing room.
Jorginho, listen, again, experienced people. I think we're equipped for it. I really do.
Kev, let me ask you this. Are we equipped for it if this guy isn't back for a couple games? Are we equipped for it?
Well, we have to be, so it's that simple. We have to be equipped for it. Yes, we're equipped for it. The issues, as we've seen, can be we put so much pressure on the likes of a Rob Holding coming in. He's got to be this. He's not Saliba. So what we've got to do a little bit better, Soph, we've got to protect Rob Holding a little bit better, I think. And I think last season we couldn't protect him because we were all over the place. We're at 6s and 7s. We were depleted as it is, but we're not as depleted now.
But he also made a stupid decision in a big game and cost
Sophie,
the team.
I was the first to say he's got to keep his head. But you know what? The people around him, the team, if the team was at its fullness, maybe you don't even have to go in there. So I don't want to look at what happened last. I want to look now. If he comes in, we make that. Let's say Saliba isn't right. We want him to be right. And rumor has it, Soph, which I'm not sure if we're going to deal with at the end, the contract's virtually agreed.
Yes. I didn't want to touch on that today, but you mentioned it. We're going to talk about it.
I'm saying
we
could maybe talk about it at the end or this week. But I just think if we're not equipped now, Soph, I think we are equipped. I do. I think we are equipped.
I have a question for you, and it came in a few on YouTube asked me to ask you and on email. So let's say Saliba isn't fit to play against Leeds or Liverpool, Kev. What does your backline look like without Tommy involved? How are you dealing with this scenario?
Tommy.
Without Tomiyasu, because ideally I would have put Tomiyasu at right back and Benjamin White at centre back. Bosh, we're sorted.
No, that's a straight swap. Saliba comes out and Holding
goes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because clearly Kivior's not ready for this moment. There's no way that's happening.
No, but the two left footers, I just can't see it.
And the two left footers, we've
had that discussion. I
can't
see it. I think Rob Holding comes in. What a great opportunity. I remember, Soph, in 91, people remember Tony Adams weren't there for a while. Other players have to step up. And you know what? It makes life even better when somebody who maybe has been on the periphery can come in, even do a job for 2 games. So we know Holding could do a job for 2 games. The problem is when it's over an extended amount of time.
Can I ask you this? And this is a little bit of my tactical naivety, which I like because I ask questions that may seem stupid to people, but I think that we're in a phase of football where things are exploratory. I mean, we're talking about calling substitutes impactors, and there's new things happening. The game's evolving. So, Kev, you know the way Lisandro Martinez is kind of slight and small, and I know that he's used to playing in that centre back role, despite his true organic position. Can Kieran Tierney do that means that we got to change the whole
No,
system, doesn't it?
sorry, what do you mean?
So can Kieran Tierney
do that? What do you mean?
slot in? There's not a chance where Arteta, he doesn't trust, because Kieran Tierney keeps coming up, and it's a question that I keep getting asked for you.
No,
There's
but
no
what's
chance.
the question?
So the question is, can Kieran Tierney slot in if Holding's not playing?
Slot in at centre back.
Slot in at centre back, or
No.
Zinchenko goes into centre back and he plays left back. None of that's happening, is it?
No chance. No chance. No. We know Kieran Tierney could play left.
Can he play right back? Can he play right back, Kev?
He probably could. But that natural progression down the right hand side, you're
going to miss that.
You're going to miss that. But defensively, we're there. Look, for me, we know Kieran Tierney could play left of a free.
Left of a 3 is what Kev said. They just broke up a bit.
But
don't freeze now, Kev. You're giving me the juice. He'll be back. Kev will be back. He's frozen in time. We're going to remove him for a quick second, but he will be back. Here he is. Bosh. Just like that. No, still frozen in time. Okay, let's get some of your comments up about that, shall we? He prefers a left. Yeah, he does. That's why Kev's internet is funny. That's why Gunnar Russ was asking, because no, we don't know this at all. Stop that. Totally not. And this isn't possible because of what Kev said about losing what the relationship is between Benjamin on the right with Saka now. That makes it even harder. Matthew's watching Kivior playing right back for Poland right now. Let us know how that goes and how he is doing and who they are playing against. There are no silly tactical questions. Thank you so much. I agree. I learned so much when I ask Kev all these questions, and I kind of do a little bit of digging. So, Kev, you were talking about Tierney.
Yeah. So we know Kieran Tierney could play the left of 3. But because he's a natural left back, I don't see us changing that anytime soon. I don't. Because then the balance of the team gets affected. And if you go three centre backs, obviously you need 2 fullbacks. That's going to affect your team at the top end. That's going to affect your team in the midfield. I just don't see Mikel Arteta making those changes. I think he's going to trust people to go in and do the job. I really do.
Kev, do you see this situation? You know, the Xhaka square peg, round hole, left back. I mean, we saw Partey play right back. This would only happen?
Partey's done that before. Hey,
right.
Listen, let me tell you something. And it's not as if Partey hasn't played it at a high level. He's played it in the Champions League. He's played it for Atletico Madrid. He's done that. Can he play there? Yes, he can. Would he want him to play there? No, I don't think he would want him to play there. But I'm sure if something happened in a game, Soph, and you had the chance to put Jorginho at the base and then move Thomas Partey out there, half the time you want Thomas Partey to kind of move up into midfield a bit like Zinchenko does.
Yeah.
And you have the 2 centre halves mopping up or whatever if you're dominating possession. Yeah, I understand that. But generally, I think we lack or miss a little something when Thomas Partey is not in the middle of the pitch. Jorginho's a great player. He's not as athletic as Partey, because sometimes Partey, not only does he break things up, he wins it and then he goes through the gears, through the midfield and picks passes. And that really does make a difference to our team.
Yeah. The good news is,
hello,
is that
Alan.
if
Alan Michael, first time live.
Well, yes.
Hello.
Welcome, Alan. Welcome indeed. If the shit hits the fan, we have options. So that's a good thing. One for you, which I've asked you before, and I love it because these are the kinds of questions that I just love. Marky B says, why can't 2 right-footed centre-backs play together but not 2 left-footed centre-backs? Super Kev.
No,
is it because the right footers can play with it?
We're not saying they can't play, but it's very rarely you see 2 left-footers play centre back. Why? Because of the balance. Just because of balance, I suppose. So you tend to find two right-footed players play because a right-footed player playing on the left is used to playing there. A left-footed player playing on the right-hand side of centre-back isn't used to playing there.
All right. Awesome. Okay, so I've got some quick 5-5s for Kev. Got 10 minutes left here this evening. Almost 300 of you in live chat. Hit that like button. Let us know the numbers, Tammy. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Okay, Kev, quick fire. Top 5 here for you. Great to see Emile Smith Rowe play for the England under-21s. And even better to see the young man score a goal as well. Your thoughts on seeing Emile Smith Rowe get some minutes, even though it wasn't for the Arsenal in the end, it really does help the Gunners, doesn't it?
I think this is going to do Emile Smith Rowe a world of good, Sophie, if I'm honest with you. He's come back from a long injury. He was been carrying the injury since, 2018, 2019 season. Has never been right. Finally got it done. And he's come back and he's funny. He comes back and the team are flying. The team are doing so well. But we do believe he has a part to play. We do believe he has a part to play. And the fact of the matter is we need him confident because we might just need him to come off the bench and do something. And now he's got a goal. It was a good header. Great to see him get in the box. I think he was playing as a number 10 or just behind a front number 9. Gets his goal. Him getting minutes is really crucial. Him getting the training in as well with the under-21s is important. And him coming back to the Arsenal full of confidence and full of life, I think is really important. So, listen, we're going to need all our players, Sophie. Even if they don't come on the pitch, we're going to need them all.
Yeah, and I agree with Don Juan. I didn't see the whole game. I saw the highlights. You can never tell from the highlights, but from what we saw, he did play well. And scoring a goal, Kev will tell you, it's massive. Kev, real quick as well, the tackle that sent the Arsenal universe into a tailspin, they still haven't got over it. What did you make on the tackle on our captain, Mr. Odegaard? It was dirty, wasn't it?
It was a
Do we need to
terrible
just
tackle.
move on and get over it? Or not even a yellow, not even a pen?
I know, and that's you see, Sophie, that's the problem. That's the problem. And I know it, look, Spain, Norway, da-da-da-da-da. But Rodri should have been, if not, the least he should have got is a yellow card. And where was the penalty? That should have been a penalty.
Craziness.
But you know what? The universe has a funny way of dealing with these things. Let me just say that.
And I think this is one where our boys have marked the card and they will be ready for Senor Rodri when they meet later on in April. All right, next up, Kev. I can't remember if I spoke to you about this last week, but I did want to bring it up. Were you on the show where the day after? No, it was Demian. I spoke to Mac Turner last week, and I had to talk to you about this because this is something you talked to me about from playing for George Graham, with Walter Smith, like great managers, and then even on a daily basis. You talk to me about, I was telling you about I'm working out more again and walking and like the mental side and all this stuff. And Matt Turner's response to the international break question pertaining to the Arsenal, Kev, was so elite. And what I wanted to ask you to take me beyond the white lines as a player, when you're on a championship run and you're not playing in the first team and you're involved in cups, but you're part of the squad, his answer was so elite and so locked in. I thought to myself, if this guy is such a mental giant right now and talking the way he is, how do those starting 11 players feel who have been in the trenches week in, week out, playing game time? I was so impressed, Kev. I keep looking for signs that give me confidence that we could take this over the line. And I have to say, talking to him and hearing him, it was really just such a massive mental boost as a fan.
Thing is, you see, Sophie, we could ask the questions, and all the questions these players have answered.
On the pitch, you mean?
No, I'm just on the pitch. No, but everything is geared to on the pitch. So when you speak to Matt Turner about going on international duty and all this kind of thing, and his answer is elite because he's so focused, that's what you need to be. If you're going to be a successful side, everybody needs to be on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing everybody on the same page. It would have been easy, Emile Smith Rowe, to go with England under 21s and have a stroll around. No, he's going in making an impact. Why? Because he knows he goes and does an impact. He comes back, he feels good. He wants to get in the team. Matt Turner, let's be honest, Sophie, we don't know what's going to happen. We never know what's going to happen. He has to be ready. And that's why I say it's not the first 11 that you actually worry about. It's the lads who are not starting, the squad players. They're the ones that have to be focused. And so if anything happens, that they can step in, even if it's one game, even if it's 40 minutes, they have to be ready. And from what I believe and what I'm told and what I see, this Arsenal squad are together, focused, and all going in the right direction. And it's brilliant.
Yeah, it really is. And for those asking what he said, he was asked many questions about Arsenal, and it kind of opened the door for me to ask one, because sometimes in the US men's national team press conferences, you got to be careful that you don't want to be seen, I'm just asking Arsenal questions, right? But Austin Trusty was in the squad as well, so there was interest, and they're playing tonight, so hopefully we'll get to talk to either one again after the game today. But what he said was that the manager has made it fundamentally clear what this international break is about. But then what he said after that was, and so have the players. And this is what you haven't heard from Arsenal squads since Arteta's taken over. So the thing that impressed me the most was the expectations of the players of each other outside of the manager. And I haven't heard Arsenal fans Arsenal players up until this squad, Kev, talk like that, where they hold each other accountable. And he literally said, it's not a vacation. You know what you're going to do. You're going to go do your job, and you're going to come back, and you're going to be mentally locked in the same way we sent you. And that was really impressive, the way he talked collectively about the players calling on for account of each other, which is something you talk about all the time.
Sophie, if you want to be a winner, if you want to win in this game, you've taken on some giant clubs, you've taken on some giant players. Everybody has to be on the same page. Everyone. And that means, like I said, the squad. Because, Sophie, everybody, the energy and that you build together is so precious. To be able to win a title or to be even close like we are tells you that we've got it right off the pitch. Every time we mess up, we've gone through a blip, we've bounced back. We've gone through our blip, Sophie. We reel off 6 wins out of 6. We're ready. Mentally, physically, emotionally, we are ready. Fans are a little bit, because we're getting to it now, but nobody can tell me that they look at this squad and don't think, are they ready? I think they're ready, Soph. In fact, I know they're ready. That's talk of we got unfinished business.
Definitely. And I felt that. I just wanted to bring that up as well, because, he continues to impress me with, how he was also asked about whether or not he's going to stay, because does he want to start? And do you know what he said? He said that if it wasn't for Arsenal, if it wasn't for the mentality of the club, if it wasn't for being around better players every day, playing with higher quality, whether he starts or not, if it wasn't for Mikel Arteta, he would never have been the starting goalkeeper for the United States at the World Cup. He said that even though he is not the starter, he's having an elite experience being
environment alone.
Our club. Yeah. And it has helped him become his country's #1 goalkeeper. Okay, Super Kev, got to get your take on the whole Rashford in New York thing, because I always like to do a few with you that are Premier League based. I've got a couple. What's your take on Rashford? Does he have to be with the England squad if he's injured? And should he be in New York?
Of course not. Why can't
Should people care?
Well, people gonna care, aren't they?
Mm.
If he can't play, that as far as they're concerned, he should be in for treatment, or he should be, have his leg in a plaster or something. No, sometimes the best thing, it's been a long season so far. Sometimes the best thing to do, go and have a break. Get yourself away. Go and have a break for a week or so, 5 days, whatever. Get yourself away. Come back. You know what to do. You're going to ice it. You're going to elevate it. You're going to do all the normal things that you do. You wear your strap in, etc., etc. And then when you get back, we'll build it up. We'll treat you, and you'll be ready for the weekend's game. That's it. So I think too many people have an opinion about what players should do, but players are human beings as well. It's good for them to switch off. And he's been unbelievable. He's been unbelievable. So leave him alone.
Yeah, and I just don't get this picking on Rashford. I mean, I get it, but it's like, just leave. He feeds children. You have a pop at him. He's not playing well on the pitch. You have a pop at him. He starts scoring insane goals and is probably the hottest striker in Europe right now. You're having a pop at him. He can't play. He's gone to New York with his girlfriend. He's not getting into trouble. He's not doing anything. I just don't get it. It's just really if that was one of our players, I'd be like, just piss off, man. Dude's gone to New York to have fun with his girlfriend. Leave it alone. Kev, we're going to end on this one for you. Another manager gone at Tottenham.
I don't want to talk about it, Soph, because you know what? Soph, that's Tottenham all over, though, isn't it? I mean, look, Soph, you get to the final of a cup, you sack the manager the week of the cup final. You've got another manager who's a perennial winner. He tells the truth, he tells it like it is, and you get rid of him. Sophie, what more is there to say? And they're going to get somebody else in, and they're going to hope and all that. Listen, keep making those great decisions, I say. Keep making them, Spurs. I absolutely love it.
Absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely love it.
Most Spurs fans actually loved what he did. And, some people just don't want to hear the truth. Or they want to hear the truth delivered the way they want. With
no, so they don't want to hear the truth.
And ribbons.
No, they don't want to hear the truth.
You can't move on in life. You can't evolve if you don't hear the truth, or if you are closed off to hearing the truth. It's a very difficult, tricky road. Life.
Sophie, when we went through lockdown on here, and we used to have battles, didn't we, with squaddies and battles internally and all that kind of thing. Why? Because we were telling our truth. We have to deal with it. And it's painful, but we've got to deal with it.
Yeah.
I don't mind Spurs not dealing with the pain. I've got to tell you, I don't mind Spurs not dealing with the pain, Sophie. Because if you're not prepared to deal with it, what do? You keep pushing it back, don't you? Keep pushing it to the side. You keep pushing. It's there, but I won't deal with you now. Let it be another 10 years, so let it be another 20 years. I don't mind.
I tell you, listen, I know that they may seem like it wasn't that long ago Conte won the double with Chelsea people. It was just 5 years ago, right? I mean, in football, that could be an eternity. I mean, he went to Inter Milan and won after that too. Mourinho won with a really dodgy Man United team, 2 trophies. If they can't win a trophy, the League Cup, they fired Mourinho a week before. If they can't win a trophy with those 2 managers, they think, maybe they will strike gold with a Nagelsmann or Pochettino coming back.
And a top striker.
The best.
And firepower.
What happened to Danny D, Kev? I think he comes in here as a different. Do you remember Danny D? Do you remember?
Yeah,
do you remember the Spurs fans at the start of the season? The Leicester fans? Where are they?
Yeah, what's ever happened to Ethelston?
Ethelston comes and visits. He came in last week. Ethelston stood up.
Ethelston, but who was there was the Leicester fan. There was the Leicester fan.
That was Sidant. He's totally disappeared. Yeah,
Sidant's disappeared. I've seen him pop up on Curtis as well at some stage. But you see, Sophie, because they say things but don't want to take. You see, they say things but don't want to get the consequences.
No.
They'll give it out, Soph. They'll be quick to give it out, but don't want to take the consequences.
Yeah, we've been living with the consequences and all this crap for years and years, and we're going to milk it. We're going to make babies, everyone. We're going to drink. I tell you, we're going to have a drink. We're going to wet babies' heads. We're going to wet everyone's heads. It's going to be amazing.
We're going to do the lot. We're going to do the lot.
As Dan Potts said on last Monday's show, the streets aren't ready. I don't think they are. I really don't.
They better be, I tell you.
Kev, what else do you want the troops to know before we depart tonight? We're predicting
much.
the 5 games. There were
Nothing
Leeds
much,
coming
Soph.
back. Leeds, you're feeling good about Leeds, right? Everyone was asking at the top of the hour.
I'm feeling good about Arsenal, full stop. So I'm not worried about Leeds. I'm worried about Arsenal. And we know Leeds do give us a tough game at their place. We know what type of team Leeds are. You know, Leeds, if you let them, they could cause you problems. They're a high-energy team. And, you know, we beat them 1-0 at their place. It was a bit of a war, wasn't it, where penalty was given and it wasn't a penalty and all this kind of thing. So, listen, we've got to take care of business.
That was some game.
It was some game. 10 games to go, guys. We've got to take care of our business. And if we take care of business, nobody could stop us if we take care of business. But, you know, I think just with that mentality you mentioned about Matt Turner, the way the club is, the way the staff, everybody being together. Listen, I trust in these guys now. And I expect Arsenal to get back and do the business, beat Leeds, and we go again.
Brilliant stuff. And Marcello loves the tunes that you share on Instagram. Keep them coming. Kev shares the best tunes, I tell you. He's always got us going with the tunes. All right, brilliant stuff. Another Monday Madness in the books. 300 of you in live chat right now. Please hit the like button. Let us know what the numbers are at, Tammy. Tomorrow night, we have Arsblog on the show. And going to do something a little bit different with Arsblog tomorrow night. Kev, are you around tomorrow? Are you in the studio tomorrow?
I don't think
you are.
Think so.
Yes.
But if it changes, I will let you know.
Okay, fantastic. I will let you know on the community page and on the Twitter sphere what we have lined up for Andrew, aka Arsblog. It'll be fun to have him on and see how he's going to be coping with these last 10 games of the season. What is your trick? We're going to find out from all the Arsenal fans. Super Kev on Wednesday's show, our Arsenal women bounced back. That North London derby win battered the Spurs. We have Shaban Ahern on to talk about our Arsenal women on Wednesday. You hear Shaban on Sky Sports and Talk Sport. Brilliant. So Shaban's coming in to hang out with us and talk Arsenal women as well. So we've got a brilliant lineup for you this week. Some great guests, some great topics. It's 10 games to go, and the Highbury Squad is going to be here to hug you all the way through. We'll be live every single night now until the end of the season. That's it. That's all I've got, Kev, for the troops. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 with Arsblog. In the meantime, I hand it over to Super Kev.
Squaddies, we love you. Thanks for joining us. Tell your loved ones you love them. Never forget that. Always reach out to people less fortunate than yourself and keep the kindness strong. Squaddies, at ease. Squaddies, at ease.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.